Hey, welcome to my channel, where I make bikepacking videos and sometimes I review and test gear from a bikepacker's perspective. And today I'm going to review the 3-person ultralight tent from Near Zero. I've owned a number of tents over the last couple of years, including an MSR Hubba Hubba 2-person tent, and more recently a Nemo Dragonfly Bike Pack 2-person tent. I'm going to use the MSR Hubba Hubba as my baseline when reviewing and comparing the Near Zero tent, and that's because both are freestyle standing tents made for backpacking with similar designs and similar purposes. And when I say they are backpacking style tents, what I mean to say is that they're a traditional style of freestanding tent, as in when in recent years there's been an emergence of bikepacking specific tents, which are essentially the same design but have small specific changes. For example, they tend to have shorter tent poles, which makes it easier to fit them in your frame bag or strapped to one of your bags. The 3-person Near Zero tent retails for roughly $375 Canadian, and the ground sheet costs an additional $45 Canadian for a total cost of $420. This is compared to the Hubba Hubba, which retails for $700 Canadian, the ground sheets an additional $65 Canadian for a total cost of $765. So the Near Zero tent is about $345 or 45% less expensive than the Hubba Hubba. The full packed weight of the Near Zero tent is 2.25 kilos, compared to the Hubba Hubba, which is almost half a kilo less at 1.75 kilograms. So in other words, the MSR tent's about 23% lighter than the Near Zero tent. The 3-person Near Zero tent is also 5 centimeters wider, 15 centimeters longer, and 8 centimeters shorter than the 3-person Hubba Hubba tent. As someone who's pretty tall, I can always appreciate a little bit longer tent. A few other things that I'd like to note about these tents are that they're both made from 20D ripstop nylon, and they seem to me, at least upon using them, have very similar quality. Yeah, the quality of the material is pretty good. It's very comparable to my MSR Hubba Hubba. It's pretty durable. Pretty confident this would take the rain out. I plan on leaving this set up in my backyard overnight to see how it handles the rain, because it's supposed to rain tonight. But yeah, quality seems really good, and I'm quite impressed with the waterproof welding on the seams here. Interested to see how it will hold up in the rain tonight. I like this buckle system. You can attach the buckle, directly to the tent, and then you can cinch it up to tighten it. Or if you want to travel more lightweight, you could attach the tent fly directly to the ground sheet. Another feature or design feature of this tent that I really like is how much of the actual tent itself has all this mesh on the outside of the tent, which makes it breathe a little bit better, and I think it's going to reduce the chance that you have any kind of dew coming in the morning. And there's also another air vent up here, which attaches via Velcro. So I don't think you're gonna have any issues with moisture on this. I really like how this tent from Near Zero has lots of pockets on the inside to store a lot of your gear. I actually count 8 different pockets. So there is one above here and another one above here. There's one little pocket off to the side and then one to accompany it over here. And then there's kind of 2 layers of pockets up here, both on each side. There's also this cool hook so you can hang a light or a lantern. I like how this tent's a little bit longer and a little bit wider. It's nice to have that little bit extra space. When I'm laying down in this tent, I still have like 8 inches to go before I go to the end, which is just kind of nice because I find in my other tents, and maybe because they're 2-person tents, but I'm really going head to toe in the tent. And then I find, when I wake up in the morning, I've kind of moved diagonal across the tent, just looking for a little bit more space. One recommendation of improvement for this tent is how there isn't anything to hold the tent pole here as it goes through the tent to the actual fly itself. What you normally see in a lot of other tents is some sort of clip or something like that where it'll go into. There is a design here to put a little bit of padding over it so it doesn't, say, rip through it, but I could see this potentially being an issue. Yeah, so as you can see, the tent pole's just, sticking out a little bit right into the fly here. There's nothing holding it into a specific spot. So these tent poles are 21 inches long, and you can see I have these extra wide bars, and they are just at capacity of where they can fit, strapped to my front roll dry bag here. And I guess it is a 3-person tent, so you would expect to have some longer tent poles. If you got the 1 or 2-person tent, it would probably fit a little bit better. But yeah, I wasn't able to fit these in my handlebars, so I had to put them here. So it works, but it could be a little tight. My only other thought or comment on this tent would be its marketing as an ultralight tent, or as it says on the bag, Dynalight tent. And that's because other 3-person tents in the market, like the 3-person Hubba Hubba or the Big Agnes Copper Spur 3-person tent, weigh, half a kilo less or a pound less. And so, you're getting a really good tent still, from what I can tell, for about half the price, but I wouldn't quite put it in the category as an ultralight tent with those other ones I just mentioned. So while I've had the chance to take this out on 2 different overnighters, we actually had really nice, unseasonably warm weather in the springtime. So I'm gonna leave the tent out tonight to see how it performs in the rain, because it's supposed to dump tonight, despite what the blue skies behind me are saying. And we'll come back tomorrow and see how she did. All right, it's the next day. Tent's looking pretty good. Pretty dry. All right, so it's the next day. We had some rain last night. There's a little bit of rain on the tent fly when I came over here, but everything inside is nice and dry. So yeah, it did pretty good in some moderate rain last night. All right, so that concludes my review of the tent from Near Zero. I think it's a really awesome tent. It's high quality, especially what you're paying for about half the price of something comparable like MSR's Hubba Hubba tent. I think there's some areas for improvement in terms of how I'd use it for bike packing. The poles are a little bit long, which would make it difficult to strap to some of your bags you're carrying in your frame bag. And I would also like to see the addition of some sort of clasp or something to hold the tent pole into the fly, so it reduces the chances that it might rip through it. But otherwise, lots of pockets. It's longer than an average tent, it's wider than the average tent of this size, and for someone who's really tall, I find that really appealing. So I look forward to using this more with my family, and if you were on the fence about potentially getting one, I would highly recommend it. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.